welcome back to Weird Mom Podcast, a podcast where I talk about things they don't tell you about raising a child, or maybe things they do tell you, but don't go into much detail about. It's week 2, episode 2 of season 1 of the podcast. If you're joining me again this week, thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. I don't have an intro yet. I don't have a cool theme like these other podcasts out here, but I'm working on that. It's in the developments. But enough about that. What's happening with y'all? What's going on? How is everyone? Is everyone staying sane? Is everyone drinking their water? Is everyone eating a piece of fruit or a vegetable? What is happening in this COVID-19 madness? For me, I just feel like I'm stuck in Groundhog's Day. I get up. I pretty much do the same things every day. I try to have some variety in there, but it's a little hard, not gonna lie. But I'm not gonna complain because there are a lot of people out there that have it really bad. And I'm lucky and blessed to be able to have a space where I can go outside if I want to, or have food even. Some people don't even have that. So it's not bad. I think I'm just kind of in a space where it's be careful what you wish for, because these past couple of years I'm I just want to be a stay-at-home mom or a working mom, or a work-from-home mom. I am a working mom, and here I am being a work-from-home mom, and I'm really trying to take advantage of it, because when will I ever get to be at home with Wade again like this? I said that when he was first born, when I was on maternity leave for about 12 weeks, and I was like, when will I ever get to be home with him like this? And here I am. What a blessing. So I'm really trying to take advantage out here in these streets. These past 3 or 4 weeks, I've lost count. I don't know what week we're on. I've been trying to do a little more. That first couple weeks, I was admittedly a bum. Still kind of am, but at least now I'm cooking more. And I'm also baking like a crazy person. I have little late night kitchen sessions where I just go down to the kitchen after everybody goes upstairs for the night, and I make sweet treats. So I've made brownies, I've made cookies, I've made sopapillas, and I'm still continuing to look for more sweet treat recipes to make and try. That's what I'm doing. I have not worked out. I have not lifted a single weight other than my son, who's probably 35 pounds, probably more now. Haven't weighed him lately. But you know what? I have been lifting my hand to my mouth to eat the various cookies and chips and drink the various sodas that I've been drinking. So that's about as much working out as I've done. But maybe you've been doing something more productive, things like that. I hope you have. I hope you're really taking advantage of this time if you have the opportunity to and the space to, because even though it's kind of unfortunate that we have to be locked inside most of the time, it's really a nice moment to kind of look at it from a different perspective and do something that you wouldn't normally do. That's, of course, safe and legal and healthy. But yeah, bake that good, craft that craft, fry that piece of chicken. I don't know, whatever it is, just do it. Do it now. Now is the time. So this is the part of the podcast, because I've actually created a little bit of structure where we talk about, it's only me, where I talk about what funny or interesting or crazy thing my kid has done this week. And so for that, I'll share a little bit of an anecdote. So on Saturday, my husband and I, we braved the stores. This is the first time going to the store in a month. And I know what you're thinking, how have you survived off the food that you got last month? We all live with Robert's family, so that's my husband's name. So we all live in a house together. My husband's mom, she really likes going to the store. She's been kind of going to the store here and there, and if I needed something, I would just ask her to get it for me. But this time I wanted to go just to give him a break from going and kind of round up some things that everyone else needed, as well as what I needed. So we braved the stores, we put on our armor of God to go out there. And I really was dreading it, because I like going to the store, I guess, in normal times. But now it's just you have to really watch where you put your hands, obviously, a lot more so now. And so I'm always thinking, is this me, by me touching this door handle, is this the touch that's gonna kill me or my family? I know I'm taking it to the extremes, but yes, that's my thought process when I was going to the stores this weekend. Went to 3 stores, and I was just really in there kind of scatterbrained, and I was just trying to get in and get out, and I was seeing that they didn't have some of the stuff that was on the list that was given to me, and it was really discouraging. I was like, wow, I really wanted to help out, and these stores won't let me be great, and I was kind of frustrated and just anxiety ridden, and I was like, I gotta get home, I gotta like take a shower, I gotta disinfect everything that we touched and brought into the house. And after I do all that, take my shower and everything, one of the things that we got from the store is like a little baseball hat and some sunglasses for Wade. And because when we go outside, he always complains about like, oh, the sun's in my eyes. So I wanted to help alleviate that with a hat and some sunglasses. So I wanted to show him that. So I went and saw Wade, and I had the hat and the glasses behind my back, and I was like, guess what? He was like, what? And I said, I got you a hat and sunglasses. And he told me, no, back to play, back to toys. Maybe toys can help. And he went back to playing the game on his phone. And it was just like, in that moment, I forgot about everything that I was worried about, because he made me laugh and he brought a smile to my face. Even though he said something like outrageous, I'm like, where do you even learn these things? I was like really brought to joy and happiness in that moment. Because during this time, in the COVID-19, the pandemic, Wade has been in heaven. He has been living his best life. He has had everybody that loves him around him at all times, including my mom, who lives down the street from us, like 5 minutes, and we go there once or twice a week. It's just, I love being around him. I love my kid. I mean, I know that should go without saying, but I just like adore him. He is my life. I love having him around me. He has been all up on me like he's my man, but I love it. I love pretty much every second of it, and I love him so much. I'm almost afraid, like it's a rational fear, but I'm almost afraid to have more kids, because it's like these kids are gonna get in the way of what me and Wade have. And I know that's irrational and that's a whole other episode, but that's how much I love my kid and how much he brings joy into my life. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, is how our children bring light, almost literally, maybe not literally, maybe if they have a flashlight, I don't know, to our lives, you know, in times of darkness and uncertainty, how they can just brighten our days and make us carry on with whatever it is that we're doing, whether we're in a job that we despise, which I'm not saying I'm in a job I despise, I'm just saying, whether we're in a weird state of mind, like these children, they just come in with their pure hearts and pure ways. They don't know no better. Maybe, I don't know, depends on the age. And they just light up your world. Now, granted, I've only been in this parenting game for 3 years, so you can let me know what happens down the line. But it's amazing, like, it's amazing that it's an instant mood booster. And I do get tired of him sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm like, I need some time away from you. I love you, but I need some space. And I feel like that's normal, but even then, I'm like, I miss Wade. It's crazy. I don't know. I take him to my mom's house, and he'll spend the day over there. And I'm like, okay, great. He's over there. I'm gonna get so much done. I'm so excited. I just map out every little crevice of time and how I'm gonna spend it while he's away. And then I come home after I drop him off, and I'm just literally sitting there like, oh dang, like he's not here. Like, what do I do with myself? What do I do without this person who is constantly talking to me and constantly asking me stuff? I know. Does anyone else feel that way? You miss your kid. Sometimes I miss him when he sleeps. Like, he doesn't really take a lot of naps anymore. But when he does, I'm like, when are you going to wake up? Or, if he sleeps in, which he does quite often, I'm like, yo, when is he going to wake up? I need him in my life right now. I don't know, maybe it's my kid. Maybe not everyone has the same experience. But my kid is hilarious, okay? He has such a good sense of humor. And it's just funny. Like, he's just a funny boy. And, there have been times where, there's been a couple of times, I'm not going to say multiple, but there's been a couple of times where, like, I get in my head a lot and I overthink things and I get down and I'm just kind of like zoned out. I don't really want to do much. I just kind of want to sit and look at a television show or something to kind of clear my mind. Or, like, I'll take a walk outside if we go outside. And there have been times where he just looks at me and he's like, "What's wrong, mommy?" And I look at him and it just snaps me out of it. I'm like, whoa. Like, I know kids can feel when their parents are sad. I've heard that from different people. But, like, seeing it in action is something crazy. It really makes me sober up in a way and say, yo, like, what's really going on? My kid notices when I'm upset, and I just need to get it together and, realize that maybe what I'm thinking about isn't that bad. Maybe I need to chill out and just go play with my kid and just take it easy. And usually that works, and I feel good afterwards. I'm like, wow, this is really nice, playing with my kid, playing with whatever we do, like blocks or whatever. And there's also been times where, like, it's been like a long, stressful day at work, and I come home and he just runs up to me and he hugs me and he's so excited to see me, and I forget everything. All my stresses go away in that moment I touch him. And I'm just like, I'm so glad that I can work to provide for you and help give you what you want and make some of your little dreams come true. And I can't, I don't do it all alone. I have tons of help and I'm so grateful for that. But it's just nice to have that validated through him. And he doesn't know, I don't know if he knows that he's doing it, but I really appreciate it. Children are really just like gifts from heaven, man. It brings me to this, like, with this pandemic and being inside all the time. Like, I'm one of those people where I'm pretty well balanced in the times I want to be inside and the times I want to be out. Right now I'm a little unbalanced because I'm inside too much. And I know I can go outside, cool, but when the weather gets nice, I like to be out and about on the weekends and do different events, do different things, wade, and it's just, even just like going and spending a day just like going to different stores. Like, I can't even do that. And I know that's first world problems. There are people that don't have jobs out there, but just to keep me sane and keep me not having, like, complaining about those first world problems, Wade kind of helps me with that. Like, we've been doing a lot of cool stuff. Like, we baked cookies, we painted, we have done puzzles, which I didn't even know he could do puzzles. And we've just been watching his shows, and it's just been awesome being around him and really seeing him in his element and seeing him learn stuff day by day. Like, each day really is different with a kid, and each week is definitely different. Like, he's not doing the same things he was doing this week, and it just keeps me on my toes, and it keeps me from overthinking this whole pandemic thing and having to be on lockdown all the time. And I really appreciate that. He's just great. I know I keep saying that, but you don't understand. Like, before I was born, like, I wanted to be a mom since I was 16. Not enough to actually pursue being a mom at 16 or in between that time, but enough to where I was like, oh my God, when I get the opportunity and I feel like I'm like in a place where I want to have a kid. So whenever I graduated college and I got a job with health insurance, I was like, yeah, now is the time. And I did, and it's just been awesome ever since. I'm not saying everything's perfect. Like I said, there are times where I'm like, yo, wait, we need some space, we need some time apart. But most of the time, it's a positive experience, and I'm very blessed that my child is pretty low maintenance and not necessarily a super needy child. He's pretty independent and he wants to be, and I'm okay with that, even though it breaks my heart at the same time because it's him getting closer to not needing me. But it is what it is, and I take the good with the bad most days. There's really not a lot of times where I like lose my temper with him or like just get impatient with him, other than like when I'm trying to go to sleep, because when I'm sleepy nothing else matters. I'm trying to get to the bed, and sometimes like my kid is a night owl and he likes to do everything he can to like not go to bed, and I'm like, yo, I need to go to sleep. How can I be a good mommy if I don't get sleep? So that's probably the only time, but any other time I'm pretty level-headed and try to hear him out, because, and this is a whole other episode too, but because there's always a reason why kids act the way they do, or why they whine, or why they cry. There's always a reason, whether it's petty or stupid to you or actually something serious. I just try to see it from his point of view. He's a brand new human being. A lot of this stuff is new for him, and he hasn't experienced it before. Experienced some of this stuff before. On that note, this reminds me, like, for instance, this is an example. I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm so excited. Like, thumbs up, right? I know how to do it. You probably know how to do it. It's something that most people know how to do, right? So I gave away the thumbs up, and he tried to do it, and he was having trouble getting his thumb up. Like, it was a learned skill. Like, he had to learn to do the thumbs up. And it just made me think, like, wow, there's a lot of stuff out there that I take for granted that he's learning. And he gets excited about it. When he finally learned how to do the thumbs up, he was so excited. And I was so excited for him. So yeah, that is pretty much the end of the main part of the show. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back from our little break, which I don't even know what I filled in for there, but hopefully it was entertaining. Anyways, this is the part of the podcast where we kind of wrap things up and talk about what I'm into. And that could be anything. It could be anything I'm obsessed with, because I have an obsessive personality. So there's two things I've been really obsessing over the past week or so. Number one is a podcast, because I love listening to podcasts, and that's the whole reason why I want to do a podcast, because I love podcasts. And a podcast I've been listening to lately is Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet. And it is a podcast where this brother-sister duo, I think Alexander and Christine Schaefer, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but they read, usually, I think the main part of it is they read 1-star Yelp reviews in dramatic ways, and they give their commentary. It is hilarious. It has me cracking up. It is such a good comic relief during this time. I like to listen to a lot of comical podcasts, and this is like, I'm so glad I started listening to it. I had heard about it probably like a few months ago, but I was like, I should get into that, but I'm not in the mindset to do that right now. You ever get like that? Anyways, so then, like, when I was starting to make this podcast and I saw that they did an interview with the anchor crew, I guess, and I was like, you know what, I remember this. I think I'm going to take a listen. And I did, and I'm not disappointed. So if you're looking for a new podcast, check out Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet. And the second thing, which I should have put as number one, that I'm into right now is Animal Crossing on the Nintendo Switch. I have been playing relentlessly since it came out on March 20th. My island is flourishing. It still needs some work. It is not a 5-star island by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm getting there. I have, I think, 5 villagers, and I'm just working on the landscaping, because that's what Isabel said I needed. Isabel's the little receptionist at my resident services. If you don't know the game, if you do know the game, you know what I'm talking about. And she's saying I need to add more flowers. So I guess I need to plant more flowers. But yeah, it is such a fun game. It's also something that keeps my anxiety levels down. And it's how I kind of unwind at the end of the day. And I love fishing in the game. It's my favorite thing to do in that game. And then it gives me such a dopamine release to sell the fish to Timmy and Tommy Nook. But anyway, those are the things I'm into. I'll probably leave links about, if you want more information about those things, in the description of this podcast. And then lastly, I want to end with once again, a positive affirmation. And today's affirmation comes from a blog, I think. Oh my God, I feel so bad, but I'm pretty sure it's a blog. It's called Tulip and Sage, and tulipandsage.com. And so the affirmation is, I focus on what I can control and let go of what I can't. And I think that's very important to keep in mind during these days where there's a lot of things we can't control, a lot of unknowns we have no control over. But let's control what we can do. Let's control what we do during this time. Let's control how we keep ourselves safe as much as we can. Let's control how we spend our time. Let's focus on those things. That's it for this week's episode of Weird Mom Podcast. If you haven't already, please follow the podcast page on Instagram at Weird Mom Pod. That's Weird Mom POD. For right now, that is where I will post all show updates and announcements, as well as post questions to all the fans out there. That is also where you can direct message me with any questions, suggestions, or maybe even express interest in being a guest on a future episode. As always, new episodes will air every Wednesday because, Weird Wednesday. Anyways, thank you for listening and have an awesome, peaceful week.